10 mysterious lost cities of the old world. 10. Persepolis, Iran. The great and beautiful Persepolis is located in the Fars province of Iran, around 60 kilometers from the city of Shiraz. The earliest remains of the city have been dated back to 515 BC, and they are a wonderful example of the Achaemenid style of architecture. Indeed, Persepolis was the very capital of the Achaemenid Empire, which had reigned the area during the period of around 550 to 330 BC. In 1979, UNESCO declared it a World Heritage Site. Its name basically means the City of Persians, although throughout history it has also been known as Shel-Menar, the City of Many Columns, and Takht-e-Jamshid, Throne of Jamshid, an Iranian mythological figure who is believed by late antiquity period Persians to have built the city. It is believed that Cyprus the Great chose the site for the city, but that it was built by Darius I. Whatever the truth of its origin, it was destroyed in 330 BC by Alexander the Great. Winged bulls and lotus flowers, and the famous Gate of All Nations are all that remain of its great artistry in modern days. 9. VILCABAMBA, Peru. There is a widely famous little village in Ecuador called VILCABAMBA, renowned for the longevity of its residents. This isn't it. What's shown here is the fabled lost city of the Incas. This VILCABAMBA, also known as Vilcapampa or Espiritu Pampa, was founded in 1539 by the Manco Inca. This is the place which served as their final refuge before the advancing Spaniards, who finally conquered it in 1572. While it held, Vilcabamba was the capital of the Neo-Inca state, as it is called today, and when it fell, it was completely destroyed and burned down. It was rediscovered by 3 men in 1892 and brought to the attention of the wider public in 1911 through the book Lost City of the Incas by Hiram Bingham. Its true significance and status as Inca's last bastion, however, was finally confirmed only in 2000 in the book Forgotten Vilcabamba, an extensive study by Vincent Lee. 8. KUELAP, Peruvian Amazon. KUELAP or KUELAP is a fortified settlement in the south of the Amazonas region in Peru, located above Utcubamba Valley. Archaeologists determined that it was built in the 6th century by the Chachapoyas culture. Their name means warriors of the clouds. They were Andes living in the region and were conquered by Incas a bit before the 16th century Spanish invasion. These old ruins offer a dizzying view, being set on a limestone ridge at an altitude of 3,000 meters. The area is covered by so-called cloud forests and boasts an additional 12 archaeological sites besides the KUELAP main site. There are 550 buildings, some of which have been restored, and most of them are circular. The main attraction is, of course, the Great Temple, which looks like an upside-down cone and has been dubbed El Tintero, which is Spanish for inkwell. The city was abandoned in 1570 before the Spanish arrived and was rediscovered by total lucky accident by a local judge in 1843. 7. CHENG, China. The magnificent underwater ruin is also known as, what else, China's Atlantis and the Lion City. It lies 130 feet underwater and has remained virtually intact. Its feline nickname comes from its geographical surroundings. It is located in the Qingdao Lake between the 5 Lion Mountains. It was founded, estimated, over 1,300 years ago, and its buildings have been dated to the Ming and Qing dynasties. It used to be the economic and political heart of the eastern province of Zhejiang. Protected from the damaging influences of the wind, rain, and sun, the Lion City is so well preserved that even wooden beams and stairs still stand solid. But how does a whole city wind up at the bottom of a mountain lake? The answer is, on purpose. Tiandao is a man-made lake created by flooding CHENG in 1959 by decision of the local government, in order to construct a Xi'an Dam, which houses a huge hydroelectric power station. 6. BAIAE, Italy. The city of BAIAE was what you might call the antique Las Vegas. It was mineral hot springs resort and a playground for the rich elite. It owed its infinite supply of hot water to the volcanic area in which it was built, which provided an abundance of sulfuric springs. It was a particularly fashionable vacation spot towards the end of the Roman Republic, and later on served as a port city, being the base for the Western Fleet of the Imperial Roman Navy. Nero and Julius Caesar are known to have had villas there, and BAIAE even boasted a great domed casino. By the time of the Renaissance, it was abandoned due to various conflicts and recurring malaria. Due to local volcanic activity, a good deal of the coast subsided, and most of the city is now submerged in the Bay of Naples. 5. Thonis-Heracleion, Egypt. Heracleion, also known as Thonis, was an ancient Egyptian city located about 32 kilometers northeast of Alexandria. It used to be a very important city near the end of the Age of Pharaohs, when it served as Egypt's main international port, a bustling hub of trade and tax collection. Heracleion was a canal city built on several adjoining islands in the delta of the river Nile. It has been mentioned by a few ancient Greek historians, and legends place its origins somewhere around the 20th century BC. It is variously believed that Thonis is where Paris and Helen of Troy stopped to seek refuge while on the run from King Menelaus, and also that this was the place where Heracles first landed when coming to Africa, hence the alternate name. The city is believed to have sunk somewhere around the end of the 2nd century BC. What has been excavated so far lies in the Abu Qir Bay, about 2.5 kilometers off the coast, under 10 meters of water and sand. 4. SHISR, Oman. This city is variously known as Ubar, Wabar, and Iram, as in Iram of the Pillars, a name found in the Quran which might refer to an actual city, an even larger area, or even a tribe. But it is more romantically referred to as the Atlantis of the Sands. It is located in SHISR in Oman. The great discovery was made by a team of archaeologists led by Nicholas Clapp, and including Sir Ranulph Fiennes among its members. It was publicized in the New York Times back in February 1992, and since then, opinions are still harshly divided as to what the true origin of the excavation is, and whether it is truly the mythical Atlantis of the desert. Teams have discovered artifacts from Greece, Rome, and Persia, which suggests that these ancient civilizations may have met and traded in this desert outpost. There is a fence and guards around the excavation site, but adventurers can schedule an excursion from Salalah. 3. CARACOL, Belize. This is an enormous archaeological site for the ancient Mayans, covering twice the area of the modern Belize city, standing at an altitude of 500 meters off the Vega Plateau. Its location has been renamed as the Kao district of Belize following the discovery of the ruins. Funnily enough, the name Caracol means spiral-shaped, referring to the road to the ruins, but also snail shell. Local tour guides joke about enormous snail populations on site, and researchers often refer to it as that one place with all the snails. Its original name, discovered on a glyph, was more likely Three Hills Water or Three Hills Lord. It was one of the most important regional political centers of the Maya lowlands, and its buildings are set in distinct architectural groups such as the Acropolis, the plazas, and the ballroom, etc. 2. INGAPIRCA, Ecuador. Also called INGAPIRCA, which literally means the Inca's Wall. The local town of Canal province has been named after this archaeological site. These are the largest Incan ruins in Ecuador, and their most significant feature is the Temple of the Sun, built in a huge eclipse around a large piece of rock. Its original inhabitants were actually the Canary indigenous people, and the Incas came later on when their empire started expanding into the southern reaches of Ecuador. The natives, however, proved difficult to conquer, and the matter was settled by a political marriage between the Canary princess and the Inca Tupac Yupanqui. The architecture and discovered artifacts testify to the divided culture. The Incas and the Canary both kept their own customs, and this is evident from the remains of festivals and ritual celebrations scattered through the temple complex. It's worth noting that the temple was built in the distinctive Inca way. Without any mortar, the stones were individually chiseled to fit perfectly together. 1. Ciudad Perdida, Colombia's Sierra Nevada. Ciudad Perdida means lost city in Spanish, and the name is very fitting because most of the ruins are still inaccessible, devoured by the forest. The archaeological location is also known as Tiuna and Buritaca, and has been dated to around 800 BC, which places it some 650 years earlier on the timeline than the famous Machu Picchu. It was discovered by a group of local treasure looters in 1972. Archaeologists reached it 4 years later and completed its reconstruction by 1982. The local tribes believe it was the center of a network of settlements inhabited by their ancestors, the Tairona, and have been visiting the site regularly before its discovery, but kept it a secret. It has been abandoned during the Spanish conquest, but researchers believe it was a home to some 2,000 to 8,000 people in its time. Nowadays, it is a very popular hiker's destination.
Thank you for watching Down the Rabbit Hole. To find out about the latest crazy, mysterious, or fascinating content, hit the subscribe button below.